Alright, what's going on, guys? UsingActionzz here, and welcome to Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1 Characters Tier List. That is a lot to say, but we have recently completed the game on my channel, and if you guys don't know, I said it like 1,000 times in my playthrough, but this is one of my favorite games of all time, and I absolutely love doing tier lists on characters and diving deeper into character development and all that kind of stuff. So I decided we would do a tier list for Season 1, and I'm planning on doing tier lists for Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, all that after we finish playing them. So this will kind of be like a side series to me playing the main games as a main series, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know, kind of a lot to process there, but nonetheless, today we are going to be ranking all of the Walking Dead Season 1 characters. There are a few missing here. I'm not going to scroll down for spoiler reasons, but this is actually a tier list with all the characters in the entire series, but I picked out all the characters from Season 1 and actually put them in order of appearance. If you guys want to pause the video and check, I'm like 90% sure this is correct. It is missing a couple characters, which I will add upon, but nonetheless, this is what we got to work with. Got our tiers here. As always, I will have this linked in the description if you'd like to do this for yourself. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Starting off, we're starting off super strong. Lee Everett, the man Lee Everett himself. This is easy. Favorite, one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite game characters of all time. Super easy. I'm going to try to move through this somewhat quickly because I could spend probably over an hour doing this tier list talking about each of these characters as individuals, but we're not going to do that. So Lee Everett, one of my favorite characters of all time in gaming. Favorite, easy. Clementine, right up there with him. Super easy. If you guys don't know, Lee Everett basically is the main character of the first season. Clementine is the main character. This is actually a picture of her when she's older, but the main character of the entire series. Next up here we have Sean Green, which is Herschel Green's son, but he's not in the game for very long. He does, I should probably say spoilers. I am going to spoil a lot of Season 1, so if you haven't seen it and you would like to see it, I will have my main playthrough linked in the description, so make sure you go check that out. So spoiler alert, over. But Sean does die very quickly. We see him for like maybe 10 minutes. Maybe 20 if you take a while to play. So but he's a good guy. While we know him, he's a good guy, so I'm gonna just put him in average. I mean, he doesn't do anything great, but yeah, he's an okay character. Next is his friend named Chet, which I don't even know his last name, but he basically serves no purpose. He dies, or he's presumed dead. You never see him die. Well, you do see him die if you pick a different option, but so he's dead. He's in the game for like 5 minutes. So I mean, he's not a bad guy while we know him, so we'll put him there with Sean. These guys are just like, they're kind of just plot, what's the word I'm looking for? They're kind of just there for the plot to kind of die, in a way. So, anyways, we got Herschel Green, who actually looks very different from the TV show. You guys might know Herschel is in the comics and the TV show, and in the game. So, he does look a lot different from the TV show, but nonetheless, he's kind of, I mean, he's nice, but then again, he's kind of a, I don't know. He thinks we're lying to him. Like, I've like gone back and played the game multiple times, and even if you tell the truth or like the best you can with the options you have, tell him the truth about what happened, he still thinks you're lying to him, which is kind of scummy. So I don't know. I never liked him that much. We're gonna put him not that great. He's really not that great. I mean, yeah, he's nice. He lets you stay at his house. Whatever, man. Not that great. Next up, we have Kenny. Once again, this is a older picture of him, but nonetheless, Kenny is Kenny, and I gotta put him right there at almost favorite. He kind of irritates me sometimes in the first season. He doesn't have his head on straight. He's thinking stupid, but other times he does really redeem himself. And at the ending, I believe he really does redeem himself. So definitely not on the same level as Lee or Clementine, but he's up there. Next up, we have Duck, Kenny's son. Oh, Duck. This is definitely a love-hate relationship. I mean, he's a child in the zombie apocalypse, and he does die from being bit and just slowly dies, and you have to put him out of his misery. I mean, he just has a horrible ending. But then again, he's really annoying when he's alive, so we're going to put him in just, I mean, he's not, I don't know. I feel bad for him at the ending, I really do. So we're going to put him in average. I wouldn't put him above, I wouldn't put him below. Just put him in average. That's good. Suits him well. So here we have Kenny's wife named Katja. I believe her name is Katja. Katja? Yeah, I think so. And where would I put her? I would say she's an average character, but I don't know. She doesn't really do anything that incredible. Once again, she's kind of there. She's kind of like a plot holder. I think we're going to put her in average as well. Right there with Duck, yeah. Her and her son fit well together. Next up, we have Carly, who sadly dies no matter what. She either dies at the very beginning of the game or dies like basically at the beginning of episode 3 in the game. But I liked Carly a lot as a character, so I'm gonna put her as a good character. She's definitely above all these people. She's kind of a badass, not gonna lie. So, and next up we have Glenn here, which I mean, I love Glenn. I love Glenn in the TV show and everything. And this is, I mean, it's kind of canon, I guess, because he does leave at the very end of episode 1 in the game. Like, he's gone for the rest of the game, which kind of sucks, because I would have liked to seen how he would have, you know, performed and met all the new characters and everything like that. But, you know, I can't change the game, so. But I do like Glenn in the TV show. I know who he basically becomes. We basically know who he becomes, and I like him in this, so we'll put him as a good character. I wouldn't say he's almost one of my favorites, but he's definitely a good character. Next up, we have Lily. Once again, this is a different picture of her from the first season, but Lily is just, I don't know. She can be like a cool character if you're on her side, but then again, she can just be like the devil if you're not. That's kind of how Kitty is though too. So I think Lily is a good character though. I think she has a strong story. Yeah, she's definitely not an almost favorite. She's not up there for Kenny with me, but she is a good character. I will give her that. Next up, we have her dad, Larry. And I'm going to put Larry in terrible. Actually, I don't know. I'm struggling. He's such an asshole for no reason. It's either terrible or the absolute... I'm actually struggling. We're going to put him in the worst. Honestly, out of all the characters here, he's definitely at the bottom of the list for me. So, absolute worst. Larry is just... He's so mean to you. He's such a scumbag. He tries to get you killed at the very beginning of the game. Yeah, absolute worst. Next up, we have Doug here, which for me died at the very beginning of my playthrough because I chose to save Carly. But nonetheless, Doug is kind of a cool character. He's kind of a nerd, you know, he knows how to do cool techie stuff. And, yeah, I think I'm going to put him right up there with Carly, because they both kind of have the same storyline, kind of. It just depends on who you save in the first episode, but both of them always die in episode 3. So, my headphones just fell. But, yeah, I think they're kind of equal. I like Carly better, but, you know. And I know some tier lists, you're supposed to, like, you know, put them, like, how you would... I don't know, put it from like best average character to the worst average character. I don't really like doing it that way. You know, I just categorize them, so that's how we're doing it. Next character we have is Mark, which he's not with us for very long either. But he's a pretty good character, in my opinion, I think. He's a good guy. We do, some of our characters do eat him because when we go to the St. John's Dairy, they chop his legs off and try and feed them to us because they are cannibals, which is psychotic. But while we do know him, I think he's a good character. I think he's a good guy. But then again, he doesn't do a whole lot for the storyline. So I'm going to put him in average. Yeah, I would say he's right there with Katja. Even though Katja's around longer than he is, but he's still a good guy. Alright, next character is Ben. Oh, Ben. So I get Ben is just like a teenager, right? He's just stupid. He doesn't know how to process his thoughts. He doesn't know really what he's doing in the zombie apocalypse. But to be fair, none of us really would, right? So, but because he does, you know, help out the bandits and destroys our base, gets people killed, I'm gonna have to go with terrible. I mean, I understand. I mean, he's not as bad as Larry. Like, at least he's not an asshole to us the whole game, but he makes some of the dumbest decisions. Yeah, towards the end, I do kind of feel bad for him because, like, the kid literally wants to die. Like, he tries to get you to kill him. But, nonetheless, he just made some really stupid decisions to basically lead to a lot of characters and his death. And his, you know. So, terrible character. Next up, we have... Oh, what is this guy's name? This guy's name's Andrew. Danny St. John. They're pretty, they're awful. They're not too bad at the first. They're very sketchy at the beginning. And then once you realize they're cannibals and they're just, yeah, they kind of try and kill your group, eat your group. Once again, his brother, Andy St. John, go right there with them. And the mom of both of them, Brenda St. John. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and throw her right in there as well. Just boom, boom, boom. 3 characters right there in the absolute worst. They're probably actually worse than Larry, but, you know, once again, I'm not doing it like that because they're just complete psychopaths. They just try and kill the whole group. They try and lure us in, or they've even stated they've lured other groups in before and killed them and ate them, which is just psychotic. So yeah, we'll put all three of them in the absolute worst category. Next up, I think this girl's name was Jolene, I think. She's like a super side character. You only see her for like a minute or two. I don't know, she was kind of crazy. She was threatening to kill me, but she was also about to expose the St. John's little secret of them eating people and taking people. I'm gonna just put her in terrible with Ben. Even though she's a super side character, she's about to kill us. She just kind of dies really quickly, but while she is alive, she is trying to kill us, so we'll put her in terrible. Next character we have is Chuck, the homeless man that was staying in the train that we use in episode 3. Chuck was pretty cool. He kind of came off as a bit of a creep, but in the end, he did save Clementine. He sadly did die. But I think he was a good guy while he was alive, for sure. So, Chuck, we're gonna go ahead and put on the not the terrible list. We'll put him on the average list, right there with these guys. Yeah, that's a good spot for him. Good spot for Chuck right there. Next character we have is Krista. I like Krista. She kind of came off as kind of bossy, kind of mean at first, but she's kind of like a take charge kind of person, which I can appreciate. So. We're going to put Krista with good characters. Also, are they dating or were they married? I feel like, I don't know, they're either dating or they were married, but her boyfriend / husband, Omid. Everybody loves Omid. Omid's funny. He's a cool character, so we'll go ahead and put him right up there. They look good up there with each other as good characters. Next up, we have Molly. Now, this always irritates me because I thought Molly was such a cool character, with a very interesting backstory with her coming from Crawford and everything. And she just leaves at the end of episode 4, and she is never ever seen again throughout the entire series of the game. She's never seen again or even mentioned. I don't know, it really irritated me, but while she was in the game, I really did enjoy having her in the game, and I thought she was a great character. So we're going to throw her up here with good characters as well. Next up, we have Vernon, which Vernon wasn't that terrible at first, and then he wanted to take Clementine, then we refused. Then he stole our boat, which is basically leaving my group and Clementine for dead. So you know what? Terrible character. Absolute scumbag. We have, I think her name was Bree, I believe. And she was kind of with Vernon's group. She never really was very helpful. I mean, she knew her way around Crawford to help us get boat supplies. But then again, it was just for them to take in the first place. So we'll put her right there with Vernon. Terrible characters. So before we do move on to, these are all the 400 days characters from the DLC in Season 1, but before we do move on to them, I would like to add the stranger, the guy that took Clementine, the guy that Lee kills at basically the very end of the game. I think everybody knows where I'd put him. I would obviously put that guy in the absolute worst. We actually never even learn his name, like he's just known as the stranger, so I'm kind of assuming that's why he's probably not in this list, but if he was to be here, I would put him in the absolute worst for being crazy and kidnapping Clementine. So, there you go. Starting here with the 400 days characters. First, we have Vince, which he did kill somebody at the very beginning of the zombie apocalypse, was on his way to prison, along with these other guys. I think this guy's name was Danny, and this guy's name was Justin? Or no, I may have that flipped. I don't know. Their names are Justin and Danny. I can't remember who's who. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Justin, this is Danny. And I think they're all in the same boat, you know, they all did crimes. Then again, I don't know, in my playthrough I decided to kill Danny here to get away with Justin, but I don't think they're good guys necessarily. I mean, maybe Vince isn't that bad. I don't really know him that well because considering we only play as him for about 20 minutes, I mean, the character development is there, but it's not that amazing. That's kind of how it is with all these characters. So, we're just going to go ahead and put all three of these guys in not that great because they're really just, I mean, I don't know, they're kind of there, but they are all criminals, you know, once again. So I don't know, man. I think we're just gonna go ahead and put all three of those guys in not that great, kind of even the list out a little bit as well. So next up we have Wyatt and I'm popping a blank, Eddie. So Wyatt and Eddie from the next part of 400 days. They were running from something. I think Eddie accidentally killed somebody, or maybe on purpose killed somebody. I don't know. I don't want to put all these characters like on the, you know, bottom list here, just because we don't know them that well, you know. So But then again, he just, I don't know. I think I'm going to put these guys in not that great as well. Because, like, they were obviously running. They obviously did something bad, which is not a good thing. So, I don't know. And I mean, you don't know that much about them. So, we'll put them in not that great. Moving on. We have Shell and her little sister and Stephanie and Roman, I believe his name was. These people were all in the same chapter in a little group staying at the diner in 400 days. So first off, Shell is, I think she's a good person. She never really did anything bad. So you know what? I'm going to put her as the average character. Her sister's right there with her. Stephanie did try to steal from the group and kind of leave everybody for dead. So we'll put Stephanie in not that great. And then Roman is, I don't know, he was kind of like the take charge. He was kind of the leader of that group, but he kind of went a little crazy from what I remember towards the ending of the DLC. He was kind of like super strict, kind of crazy, wouldn't let anybody leave, which is kind of terrible. So we'll put him in the terrible category. Next up we have Russell, which seems like a cool character. Depending on your choices, you can be a good guy or you can kind of be a bad guy. And I chose to be a good guy, so we're going to go ahead and put him up here with Shell and her little sister. Nate here is an absolute psychopath and a terrible person, so we're going to put him here with the absolute worst. I mean, he robs people, he kills people, he's just a psychopath. He's probably done even, worse things, but I don't really want to know about it. But absolute worst character, terrible person. And our last set of characters here, we have Bonnie. I guess we'll just put Bonnie at an average character, nothing too crazy. Leland, we don't really get to know him that well, and I mean, he seems okay, but we're gonna put him in not that great. Dee, she's kind of a scumbag, not gonna lie. She is kind of mean to you the whole time. I mean, granted, you only see her for 10 minutes because it is a 400 days. Like, I she's really not a likable character in the slightest, so we're just gonna put her in terrible, because I mean, I really don't like her that much. Some of you guys might like her more, but I'm not about it. And last, we have Tavia, I think her name's Tavia, which is the person recruiting for a group, and she recruits all the 400 days characters, and she seems like a pretty good person, not gonna lie to you. She seems pretty alright, so I think we're just gonna put her in average, because she doesn't seem bad, she doesn't seem good. I think she's average. So, with that being said, guys, that is my Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 1 and characters tier list. Obviously my favorite's Clementine. Lee, I'm pretty sure that's on everybody's list right there. Kenny's almost a favorite. Good characters. We got all these guys. Average. Of course, most people go in the average, but then again, these are a lot of side characters. Not all of them, but a good amount of these are side characters. Not that great. Once again, a bunch of 400 days characters and Herschel. Terrible. Yeah, these are all characters from the main game. Well, mostly. And then absolute worst. Once again, basically all characters from the main game. So, yeah, with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you guys would like to do this, once again, I have this exact tier list linked in the description. If you want to do one and send it to me on Twitter, that would be really cool, so I could see what you guys, how you made your tier list. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree with me on a certain character. And yeah, with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed. We're going to be doing this after I finish Season 2 of The Walking Dead. And we'll probably come back to this same one and do all the Season 2 characters. So, yeah, hope you guys are looking forward to that. Hope you're looking forward to the Season 2 playthrough. It will be a very good time. So with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like button. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
Used to fuck around in the nighttime. Used to feel like that shit was my lifeline. Yeah, we kept it cool, feeling so high.